I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk with your group about business growth and business growth process. Harvard Business Review talks about 15 to 25% of each year's business being lost for most organizations. And the challenge that most organizations have is that they don't have sometimes specific strategies, process, and people in place to overcome that loss, let alone get growth above that. So I'd like to cover with you a few key points today about how we can approach business growth and how important that could be to your business in a business-to-business growth scenario. The first thing that we do know is that to create buyer awareness and to create an emotional attachment in buyers, you have to have some interaction. You have to have a level of interaction. So if you were to take quality and intensity of interaction on one scale, and at the bottom of that scale, maybe looking at things like email, direct mail, voicemails, phone calls, meetings, doing work together, solving problems together. As you go down this continuum, higher quality and more intensity of interaction, we're looking for building capital with buyers. We're trying to build trust in buying systems. So we're trying to build this feeling of trust in buyers. And the only way you can do that is by creating quality interaction. If you could just jump in and work with people and solve problems together and have ongoing relationships, you would do it. But most often the key or the entry card to that is much lower level interaction. Most things start with an email, a letter, a phone call, and oftentimes with voicemails. So this curve is nearly proportional in the sense that the more quality interaction, the more intensity of that interaction, the higher or better the trust or capital that we have with buyers. I'd like you to think a little bit about the profession of sales versus other professions. When you think about law, and in law you have litigators and you have law clerks. In accounting, you have CPAs and you have bookkeepers. Well, it struck me years ago that in sales we don't often differentiate or use the advantages of task specialization. In sales, we hire a salesperson for whatever we pay them. It's usually a pretty dear amount. And we expect them to do everything from research to prospect all the way through to finding problems, negotiating closes, and closing business. That's not the case in other professions. In law, you have litigators and you have law clerks. In accounting, you have CPAs and bookkeepers. But in sales, for the most part, we don't benefit from that specialization of task. I would even argue that at varying levels in the sales cycle, it takes different types of people. Different personality styles, different motivations motivate people at different stages of the sales cycle. So if you take the sales continuum from 0 to 10, and 10 is making money, and 0 is uncertain processes, uncertain resources, maybe even uncertain strategy about how you're going to grow your business. Around a 7 on that sales continuum is where most organizations issue some sort of proposal, an offer for work, or to sell a product. 8, negotiate. 9, get it in the system. 10, make money. This is what I call the supply side of the business. A preponderance of our resources, people, talent, money, time, are spent, rightly so, on the supply side of our businesses. It's where we serve our clients. It's the quality work that we do, and that's what we get paid for. It's where the real value gets added in the system. So we call this the supply side of the business. But we know if we're going to make up that 15 to 25% loss and we're going to have any kind of growth over a long period of time, we need to have a system in place. We need to have people in place to build demand in the marketplace for what it is that we do. So this is where I would say that there is some differentiation of task. There is specialization of task in the sales continuum. The people who do this work, this 7, 8, 9 work, solving problems, making offers, negotiating those closes, and getting it into our systems to make money, are very different than the people who work on research, prospecting, pre-qualifying, and positioning new business opportunities. I think it's really been somewhat of a fallacy in the business-to-business sales world for years that we've expected one person to do all of this work. In fact, we want our top salespeople, we want the people who are the problem solvers, the technical people, we really want them spending as much as we can, as much of their time as they can at this 6, 7, 8 stage. Spending their time anyplace else to a large extent is inefficient. There's opportunity costs associated with them coming down the scale. So we want them spending their time there. So the idea of task specialization in sales is we need to have a process in place, people in place, and a decisive strategy that we're trying to approach. And people who are really good, their personality styles are that they like this. They like to research. They like to build these relationships. They are long-term relationship building type people. They're not as much into gratification this month, this quarter, even sometimes this year. They're looking to build relationships over a long period of time. So if you put the sales funnel on its side, you need to have a strategy that enters strategic targets or high-value targets into the system. And we know that each sale has a gestation period, and we need to move these prospects through the sales funnel. The only way you can do that, going back to how we build capital or build trust with buyers, the only way that we can do that is by having dense, regular, predictable interaction, communication. Christmas card marketing does not work. Sending people a Christmas card once a year, maybe making a phone call in the summer, does not build trust. That does not build an emotional attachment to your organization or to your sales staff. You need to have this dense, regular communication in varying ways: direct mail, email, phone calls, handwritten thank you cards. You need to mix the media. You need to have some touch, some impression that you're creating with a high-value target every 4, 6, 8 weeks. Over time, buyers begin to build trust inside your system through the message that you're sending, the personality of the people that are doing the work, and the value that they see that your organization is bringing to solve a problem that they have. So you have to create this system of continuous, predictable interaction that over time builds trust, that drives people into the funnel and positions your professional technical sales team to go in and make the closes. Again, summarize, we need people, we need strategies, first of all, we need a process and the people to create dense interaction that's going to pull people through their emotional attachment, their building trust or capital in who you are and what you do into the funnel, so that when your technical professionals meet with these people to actually solve problems that they're having, they have a higher chance of success. One, because they have more knowledge about the buying system, about the buying influences in that system than they had if they were to make a cold call at 5 or 6. It's a really important distinction that many organizations are chosen, many selling organizations are chosen by buying systems. I believe that that's the wrong way around. I think you need to have a selling system that selects your future clients, gets them into your funnel, makes friends with them. They don't know it yet, but they're going to be your future clients. And I think once a technical professional salesperson is in front of somebody who has been compelled to get there through the relationship building system that I'm referring to, your close ratio should go up, your margins should go up, the stickiness as an organization should go up. Thank you for your time.